About that, conquer my depression, grab my Smith & Wesson, call up my new baddie and give a good direction, like, where you at 7, she just say she ready,
Welcome
to the 3-0 podcast, where even the artists can be friends. Oh, wait, fans. AJ the Menace.
ain't empathy.
Cherry TNT.
And we have a friend with us again today. We're friends on the podcast.
Leon over there laughing.
Pat Jr.'s in the building. What's up, Pat?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Yeah, yo. So, we're going to keep doing this. It's been working out great. This is the second week. Mm-hmm. Nance was the first one that we did, like, the Friends run. Did I send that clip to you?
Yeah.
I did? Okay, yeah. With the
so
smile.
you share everything. So
Yeah.
I get to see.
Saw the love.
I get to see the previews. Y'all don't. You know?
Yeah. You get to see the previews, though.
This is my brother, so.
Yeah.
Facts. Actually, before we even jump into like all our stuff, let's catch up with you, man. What you been up to, man? How you been surviving through this quarantine?
Oh man,
I mean, quarantine and protesting.
Right.
And,
is it even quarantine right now?
Quarantine and revolution.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
No, I mean, so of course when the COVID stuff started happening, like I have like
Bring that right in front of you.
oh,
the mic. Yeah.
that I have my husband protector radar goes off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I go into that mode where I'm like super focused on what do I need to do. Like when it snows out here, if it's gonna be bad or whatever the case is.
I need to have a plan for my wife. Yeah.
I go into plan of action mode. That's just my nature. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's just a part of my character. And so I'm thinking about my wife. I'm checking in on my friends or whatever, like making sure they got shit. But so I definitely like when I caught wind early on of what was gonna happen, like there was a fake message going around that people were sending of this girl saying that the Pentagon is getting ready to, like her cousin that works at the Pentagon or something. Yeah, that shit.
I didn't even see that.
But I listened to it and of course it was like it was fake, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like there was a realness to it of like what could possibly happen with this quarantine if it got that bad. You know,
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody at the CDC and they were saying like it's possible, but it's not like it wouldn't be a nationwide thing. It would be like a state by state kind of case,
Or area by area.
area by which we've seen. So
Yeah,
like
we have, yeah.
I went to the store, like racked up on whatever we needed, whatever we might need, so we don't have to go back for a little bit or whatever, just in case, you know, just to be prepared. And I'm glad I did it because I saw a bunch of people like maybe a week after I went to the store, it was mad people. Like I saw mad videos of like people in Food Lion, Target, everywhere. It was like long ass lines, and I was just like,
You were sitting back.
I was
chilling.
already done.
Yeah,
It
was crazy,
it up.
right?
Like Christmas shopping.
It really got
Christmas
crazy.
shopping,
And you know what's crazy? I went to the grocery store last night, and that was the first time like 1/4 of the aisle of the paper supply aisles was actually filled.
Yeah, I noticed that recently
it's
too.
it's starting to
Slowly
build up a
coming
little-
back.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know that, and then my wife, she's been working from home, which has been cool. Even when things kind of settled in, because I work from home,
You ain't seen no
nothing ain't really changed for me. Like
Yeah.
people were like, "You okay? Everything cool?" Like blah blah blah. Like even some people that were kind of like freaking out a little bit, and just because of my faith, man, like I'm like, man, God's gonna take care of us. Like I told my wife that, and I think Pelham Jr. plus with my music stuff, like I got asked for features.
during the
During
the lockdown.
yeah,
period,
people were asking me for features. People were asking
Business was
me
good for like some people. The lockdown and COVID really financially fucked them, but some people came up during that period.
Yes.
and some people are still coming up.
still coming
Because
up.
it's not done yet. Like the whole economy and all that shit.
But
we
some
still have to
people,
go up.
yeah, like people were just asking me for stuff, like pretty much just shoving business in my face, like, and so that was good. Like we really like with my business, with just as an artist, and then it's like I got on my creative bag for real with the videos, to do both videos and stuff, and just pushing myself creatively and jumping in the hyperbolic time chamber to level up a few times. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like it's necessary. And then of course the George Floyd stuff, like the event or stuff. When I say stuff, I mean like the protest, him passing, the protest, all that stuff happened, and it slowed me down a little bit, like because I had to stop. I'm a very quick processor when it comes to certain things, but this like really slowed me down. It was just like mixed emotions, like. First it was a little bit of fear, then it was anger, and then it was just me being frustrated. And I just had to really take some time to like me and being transparent, like me and my wife got into it. Like I won't go into detail, but we got into it really bad. And it was like concerning this stuff. And it was one of them arguments where we didn't talk for a full 24 hours.
Y'all in the house together.
And we in the house together.
Which is that's 72 hours. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. And I could be sometimes like, I'm that type of dude, is like, you want to play chess? Bet. Like, let's go. Like,
you want to see how
to
long
a
I
fault,
can stay
right?
Yeah.
To a fault. And
I can hold it down all week.
Right. And I actually said that. Like, I was like, do you not know? I was just.
You not know who I am?
I said that.
You know who I am? I do this. Silent treatment. All right, bet.
Right.
Watch this.
Right.
Zip.
But that's not good. It's man. That's not good. But
you married is different.
Yeah, we it was dope because we talked about it. I've been having a lot of conversations with black friends and white allies, which has been really cool. You know what I'm saying? Really, it's made me feel, good because, you, in the regular work world, especially in the music industry, it's like, I'm learning that, like, you keep it business, you know what I'm saying? Unless you just find that connection with somebody. Yeah. Which is, sometimes I think it's easy for people to forget that because there's no office you clock into. You're not dressing up. It's the music industry. This is you work, but it's not a form.
You set your own schedule.
You set your own schedule. It's kind of free form, and so when you meet producers, artists, you don't really know non-black artists. You don't really know what their views are when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then, like the dude who produced Rest, my dude Byron, he's a white dude. And he hit me up and was just like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm disgusted by this. Like, I just wanted to let you know I'm here for you if you need to talk, vent, whatever. Like, but also like, man, like I share the same views that you do when it comes to Black lives actually mattering. But he was like, sometimes I don't know what to say because I don't want to say the wrong thing or
Didn't Nan say something like that too?
Mm-hmm. And so
it's a real thing because this is the first time a lot of white people have spoke out at all. So they're like, how do we even approach this?
Right.
Because all the black friends are coming in and like, hey.
Like, what's good?
It's a lot of their first times.
Yeah. And so, I just, we had a nice conversation. We was talking through text, and I was just kind of like telling him, hey man, like, you don't have to protest, if you don't want to. I said, but say something, like let people know what you said to me, like your black friends publicly. I said donate, like, and he was like, man, thank you, like that means a lot. That helps me too, as far as just because he also was like, I don't want to say anything, and it seemed like I'm just trying to hop on a trend and hop on the bandwagon just to be saying it. But he was like, I really feel this way, and I'm like, well, just share your grievances. You know what I'm saying?
You can also school other white people who don't understand.
I told him that too. Yeah. I was like, yo, let them know. Yeah.
They'll listen to
them
more than they'll listen to us. They'll listen to their cousin or whatever.
Yeah. So I mean, not too many. I've had a couple of negative experiences. Of course, playing online in the gaming community because we were just talking about.
I'm still not online, but I know people online already don't have no filter. So
man, the gaming community is definitely one of the most racist like when it comes to, the crazy thing is that a lot of people don't know that the game, how racist the gaming community is.
You talking about just the people that be playing online on the microphones, or you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
They're crazy.
Yeah. Like as far as the people you're playing with, like the stuff that they say, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And it be like, sometimes it'd be like 14, 15, 16-year-old kids that say nigger this or nigger that or whatever racist shit they want to say just to piss you off or to
That's
be
a fact.
funny.
Yeah.
So when the whole private party chat thing came along, that was great for a lot of like black people who didn't want to deal with being in the regular game chat with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, because you can control who you talk to and who you don't talk to.
True.
But I still had some people on my friends list who were just kind of insensitive, and I kind of barked at them, man, a little bit, and just kind of let them know, like, you know, of course, you deal with some people who believe all lives matter, or they say all lives matter, or whatever. They don't really adhere to the whole idea of Black Lives Matter or whatever, and so, you know, I kind of had to, you know, check a couple of people. And then they ended up, like, once Call of Duty made their Black Lives Matter statement.
Yeah, what was it? Because I didn't
Wait,
see
who?
it.
Oh,
Call of Duty the game?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of it, but essentially they, like, it says in bold white letters, Black Lives Matter, and then they have this statement under it.
It's like our community is hurting, and at this time
We stand with black people,
we stand with
Oh,
with the
shit.
black
But it's
community.
very, because you know how some brands made a very generic statement?
Right,
and
right,
then-
Yeah.
People are calling it virtue signaling, where these businesses are trying to, they don't want to go out of business, so it's just like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah, do you feel
yeah,
like-
we're for this too.
But it almost feels like, I don't know, it's just like now does seem like the time, because you also see this fast food restaurant has donated to Trump's election. You know what I mean? You're seeing a lot of that as well. So it's like,
But a lot of
are we?
those-
Because we're already on that. You got to break your silence, and it's translated down to the companies. Like,
Yes.
But a lot of
people
those
are
companies
pressing
have
everybody.
come out and said, was like, nah, we never did that. Like, I know Wendy's did that. I believe Chick-fil-A did that as well. They were
Yeah.
like, nah, we don't deal in politics. Like, we never did that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I feel like this is how I look at the brand thing. Like, for those that have made the generic statement, I don't believe you. But
and
the
we know what's. Yeah.
but the ones who have made, like, certain ones who've made that explicit Black Lives Matter,
awesome Ben and Jerry shit.
right?
Yeah,
essentially.
like I'm pulling up.
So when
Yeah,
Call
yeah.
of Duty did that, like, so what happens is every time there's a loading screen before the game starts, it shows like a picture of like the map, the different areas.
Yeah.
Instead of it showing the different pictures, the Black Lives Matter statement stays up there on the loading screen every match you play.
Damn.
you know,
and
you know, a
so
lot of people are probably mad.
They
about
are
that too,
angry,
right?
and the
Yeah.
and the person that came into the party that I had barked at that night, I noticed when the update happened for me, and they were showing it, I was gonna screenshot it and send it to him, but I saw like he wasn't on my friends list anymore, so he blocked me. Damn. So he's hot
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah.
and I was laughing.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, yeah, I mean, right now, the best way to describe where I am right now, I'm hopeful, but there's still a heaviness to what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
But I will say, every day since like earlier this week, every day, like maybe since like Tuesday or Wednesday,
It's been getting better.
like it started with the podcast that you guys did.
Yeah.
So every day something has happened that just kind of lifted like the heaviness more and more.
Bro, it was
Friday
heavy.
was lit because
Yeah.
Kevin on stage bought
Bought some
bought the
merch.
shirt, bought my
Yup.
merch,
Yep.
like
And
all
I
that.
dropped the record.
You said what now?
And then I dropped that record.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your record came
Yeah.
out. It like I was like, yeah, my nigga probably came out. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
he dropped some new music. Then the Call of Duty. So it was Friday was amazing. I went and
Yeah.
got my hair cut.
Yeah. It was a lot of good things that happened. Yeah.
Like for the first time professionally,
Yeah.
instead of doing it myself. So
I had my
Friday
first
was
one on, like,
was
Thursday, I
great.
think.
And then just to see Friday, how people were shouting out so many black businesses was super dope.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, man, that's kind of where I've been right now, man.
Hey.
So it's
like
a lot, bro.
mild optimism.
Yeah, that's somewhat. Yeah, that is the best way to describe it. It's mild.
That's what I have right now too. Because I'm usually like a pessimistic person, but lately I've really been seeing like the unity that's actually happening.
Yes.
You know, like I feel like there is something, like in the Dark Knight, the darkest is just before the dawn.
Yes,
we're
bro.
going to the dawn.
It's
you
like
know?
I see the crack now.
Yeah,
I see the
you
crack.
see the light
You see the
coming
light
through.
at
I
the
see
end
the
of the
light.
tunnel.
I see
Yeah.
it.
I see it too.
I don't exactly know how far it is,
Right.
but I know I see that motherfucker.
Hoping it's not a train.
Because you know what? It's just.
By the way, that's not a line from me. That's from Fonte of Little Brother. He said, "I see the light at the end of the tunnel," and he said something that's like, "It's not. I'm hoping
Hope
it's not a train." Yeah.
No, that's facts. man.
But that is true though, because I had taken this whole last week off of work because I was so low, and it was the heaviest like that Monday, like that weekend, and then that Monday.
Same
I
here.
was like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah,
crazy. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
same
this
here.
cannot be life for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then throughout the week, by Wednesday, I was feeling better, and then I started seeing those things happening, like the Ben and Jerry's, like. The Ben and but it's like it's so many people out here like it's so many black people and white people out here like this like let's get
Yeah,
poppin'.
let's
You know what I
go.
mean? Like
it's a beautiful thing to
Yeah,
see.
Ben and
Like,
Jerry's always been down with black people though.
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But to see how they made this, I was like, oh, y'all not playing.
No, yeah, it's real to them.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that, and you know what it is? I was thinking I was gonna say it like this. I was gonna say companies don't even they're underestimating the value that we're gonna take their brand when they stand on those beliefs like that.
Yeah.
Like, but at the same time, I can't even say it like that because the ones who aren't making statements, they're like, we don't want you niggas here anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like it
You
works
seen
on both
where
ends.
yeah.
Where it's like if you don't, but it does feel good when your favorite brand or one of your favorite brands is like holding it down for you. Like, I don't even eat Ben and Jerry's, bro. We'll be buying them now.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Literally, bro. I literally do not buy Ben and Jerry's when I go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
But I will be buying.
I will be buying it now,
Yeah,
like,
because you get that friendly remind. Like like as soon as I got some more funds coming in, I'm buying 2 pairs of Dunks this month, bro.
Yeah.
Because Nike they made their bold statement.
Yeah.
They've been like that.
They've
though.
always
Yeah.
made their.
But
yeah.
when they made their statement this month, it reminded me. I said, "Oh, I will be copying 2 pairs this month."
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just and that's the thing about black people. Like, we will support you if you down for us.
Yes, we
Yeah.
will. Yeah. Heavily.
We will support you if you down for us. So I just I feel the same way. I would say last weekend when I took that time to kind of pray, Monday, Tuesday, I think it was Sunday or Monday, I started feeling better just to kind of get what do I need to be focusing on? That's what I was praying, what? And then we started having that conversation about the different things that's kind of going on
Yeah.
that we need to be paying attention to now that we kind of coming out of that funk a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a funk, but just coming out of the sadness of it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
They writing Black Lives Matter on the fucking street
Yeah.
in DC.
Yeah,
you know
I saw
what I'm saying?
that.
It's just
Yeah.
like what?
Yeah.
have you seen the picture zoomed above?
Oh, I have, and you see,
yeah.
like how much.
Oh,
of the
you don't
street-
mean like graffiti? You mean like
We're talking
professional?
Oh, no,
We're-
it's a mural.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
That's
right. Yeah.
huge on the
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the street, they changed the name of the street
Black
to
Lives-
Black Lives Matter
Avenue or
Place
Boulevard or
or
something
Oh,
like
I
that.
did
Something
see
like
that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't see that. That's crazy.
And
Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter is literally moving in a whole different mode. It's got a whole new energy behind
Yes.
it, and
Yeah.
that's what
It's bigger
because
than it's ever
it's
been.
bigger than it's ever been. Because I remember that initial energy, but the initial energy just had us behind it.
Yeah. My only thing is just
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we are in control of it, and it's
Yeah.
not, taken from us and use it as,
As a weapon.
propaganda or some
Yeah,
shit.
true.
Like
Yeah.
we're in control of it.
But see, this is one of the things that's been having me excited, and why I'm starting to see under the tunnel. First of all, I've never seen. These videos are crazy that are on the internet right now. You know what I mean? Just during all this
Oh,
time.
yeah.
I can't remember what the TikTok page is, but it's got a Black Power fist. And every time it's viral on Twitter and it's something that has to do with the times now, it's their page. I just don't know what the page is. But I've seen multiple videos of white kids arguing with their parents.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
they-
saw
seen
one.
that
And
too.
it-
I
down
saw
to the
one.
fact of, and not even when their parents say something wild, they're like, "Do you even understand?" They're saying, "I've
They
never
say so
seen this."
articulately, and
Bro,
they're like 13.
Super
bruh,
articulate, man.
and they're like, "Do you even understand why black people are in the hood?
Right.
Do you
Yeah.
even understand?" Like they're having those conversations with
Yeah,
them.
I
I'm
saw
like,
one, yeah.
I have never seen that. So
hopeful.
that made me like, damn, that's crazy because I never seen it. And then I think what was it? It was Delaware took down a Confederate statue overnight,
too.
Yeah.
quietly. They didn't make an announcement. They just took it down
They just took it
overnight, and
down.
the next day niggas was like, "Oh shit!" And like, you know what I mean? Like these
Yeah.
cities and states are starting to take down their racist landmarks. Like
They
we've
took
been
one
surra-
down in Fredericksburg, Virginia, the
Yeah.
auction block.
Yeah,
They need to just get rid of Virginia, redo the whole thing. 'Cause-
for real. 'Cause
The whole-
Virginia
I mean,
was
it's
Virginia
so
was literally
much.
like.
Wait, they still had that up?
yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Literally, it was
remember
like a
how-
little
remember how
cement
big of a
block,
deal-
and it said- and it had like a little plat auction block. Like, yeah, Fredericksburg is racist as fuck. Like people literally, like white people literally go there to visit to remember how times
good old
used to be.
days.
The good old days.
Yo,
Literally, one of my coworkers, she was
The
like, "Oh
good
my
old-
god,
the
I just
good
went
old
to
days.
we went to Fredericksburg, and then Charleston,
That's-
South
that's-
Carolina." And
I'm
I
about to
was
say,
like,
that's the same with Charleston, South Carolina.
and I just looked at her and I was just like,
Those are your vacation
But she
locations?
also has 1776 tattooed with an American flag on her back.
Holy
Okay,
shit.
so she real.
I was
so
like,
she's-
at first I was
she's
confused. I was
fully-
like, what is that? I was like, is that when like your great grandfather was born? She was like, no, I'm American. And I was just like, say less, say less. Say less,
Yeah,
say
so
less.
she's fully dedicated to that.
Fully dedicated.
She's fully dedicated. So those are some of the things that has me hopeful because I mean, you remember how big of a deal it was when the lady went up there and pulled down the Confederate flag from the
remember that.
South Carolina joint. That was about I can't remember her name either, but that was about a year and a half
She was
ago.
from here,
2
wasn't
years.
she?
Yeah. She
Yeah.
was from here. She was from here.
Yeah, so
Shout out to you, sister. Can't remember your name.
but I feel like because these cities and towns are starting to take down their racist reminder landmarks, then I also saw something which I don't think this is going to be a law, but I don't know. But it was like the Marine Corps has denounced all Confederate flag anything memorabilia. They were like bumper stickers, coffee mugs, all that shit's illegal on their grounds or whatever. So I'm like, and that's a military, and that's the Marines, the Marine Corps,
Right.
the hardest, the baddest motherfuckers out
Man,
here.
these men, they had that shit tatted. Like,
Yeah, so if the fact that they were the first to do that, that means they might be able to turn it. Bruh, it's no reason that, and then that talk of reparations is coming up. I'm jumping all over the place. But it's no reason why,
That brings that Dave Chappelle skit to my head.
there's no reason why they shouldn't be moving like Germany did the Nazis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
just get rid of
when the Nazis lost, we don't tolerate that shit, nigga, we beat you.
And
You know
Germany
what I'm
just
saying?
got rid of it. Yeah.
If we see a swastika, you're getting arrested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not playing none of that because you lost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
weren't with that shit. America is like you lost, but you still allowed to
still
ride around
around,
on the
yeah.
pickup truck
Yeah.
with racist flags just rolling down the
Yeah.
street. You could just do that.
Yeah.
That's our swastika.
Yeah, that's our swastika, and
Yeah.
the fact that the Marine Corps is doing that, I feel like it might move into like throughout the country.
Now, do you guys think that the only reason why this is happening now, where like places are like taking down stuff and changing everything, is because it's not just black people now? It's like everybody. Like I'm seeing all races
That's what I'm
for
thinking.
Black Lives Matter.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a lot of white people
Yeah,
are
yeah,
in
yeah,
this.
yeah.
A lot of Hispanics and
Yeah.
Indians. Remember, this is not just like happening in this country. It's happening all over the fucking
Yeah.
This is a
world.
global thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
this
So
is a
do you
global
think
thing,
now they're
yeah.
probably like, oh shit, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
I think this is definitely a time. I was talking to one of my homies, Steele, and we both were in agreement that this is a time where people are being exposed.
Yeah.
And not just-
2020,
not
clear
just-
vision,
Yeah,
clear sight.
bars.
Yeah. 2020. What do you
It's
got?
cliche, but it's bars.
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
But like people are being exposed for who they are. Like we seen with these brands on the larger scale, and the NFL got egg on their face right now.
We sorry.
But just too
Drew
late,
Brees.
you know.
Drew Brees.
No,
was
I'm
tar-
just not even that, because I think the commissioner in it even said like he was like, we don't. What did he say, Leon?
Commissioner, he was saying something about it was about Black Lives Matter. I didn't see it. It's Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell.
Yeah, and he pretty much was like, pretty much like, yeah, this is terrible. Kind of like we didn't realize how bad it was, something like that.
What, nigga?
But it's like, but it was
low key started there.
But it was like now they understand. Now they understand why Cap was doing what he was doing.
What?
Now they get it. They didn't say
they
that,
really?
but indirectly they were.
That's pretty much what they were
saying. But my thing is just
What
like,
happens next with him? Like, what's now? With
I
him?
don't know, man.
I don't know because I wouldn't want to work for that.
Me
I wouldn't want to
either,
work
bro.
for them. If that was me, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just like,
I don't know. I just
like-
couldn't work for somebody that been shitting on me,
Yeah.
especially about not just me in my career, but me as a human being. Like, my
but
whole race.
people are being exposed. Brands, circles of friends.
Yeah.
You know,
people are losing friends right now.
People losing friends. People losing
YouTubers using subscribers. Like a lot of YouTubers that I watch, they were saying like when they start putting Black Lives Matter, they're like, subscription
Subscribers.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I've
just
lost
drop.
some followers, man, but it's just like I don't want nobody following
Yeah.
me like
Anyway.
that.
Yeah.
I definitely went down to some follows, but it went right back up too.
These fucking
Yeah.
celebs have definitely been getting hit hard.
Who?
Celebs,
Celebs,
celebs, yeah,
Did
celebs.
you see
Desi. Oh my God, Desi Banks.
Desi Banks, and then like a
lost,
day,
like,
and
$500,000.
then damn for that
on
many?
Twitter?
On
He
Twitter,
lost half a mil.
And then like a day later, it was
The B Simone girl.
the B Simone
Simone.
chick.
Did you see? I can't. It was on Fox News, but this white dude was reporting, and he had pictures of a bunch of celebrities, black and white, that have donated to the Black Lives Matter cause, like different.
damn.
And that he was literally saying like they are like essentially like praising or soliciting like riots in a sense because they're bailing out these people who've gone to jail
Wow.
and the protesters and stuff. So Kalani was up there, Steve Carell from The Office, like white and black people,
Damn.
and they had their
I saw that
pictures
picture,
rolling
yeah.
down. And at first, you listen to it a little bit, you think it's like a parody or something. The way he was talking, like straight
Yeah.
out of a movie almost.
Damn.
Like this hypothetical, like
Crazy.
movie script or something. The way he was talking, and it was like, are you really trying to make them look bad?
Like-
and in
like
the
he was
back,
trying,
the
yeah.
background, you see like it's subliminally like the way they get you hit the background of like the names coming down, like the pictures of the celebrities coming down who donated and their names. It's like a fire happening in the background.
What?
Look, it's all psychological.
burning
Yeah,
buildings in the
yeah,
background.
Subconscious, like to their viewers, they got their viewers by the fucking
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because it's all subliminal. You know, it's not outright. It's just like
That's so
images and shit that goes to your subconscious and shit. And you're like, yeah, black people are trash.
Bruh, I hate the news, bruh.
yeah.
I mean, I
yeah,
stopped
yeah.
watching the news years
Exactly.
ago,
Yeah.
but the news is the worst, bro. Like,
Because they're fear mongering. That's matter.
It's so depressing.
it is so
But that's their
sad.
job.
Every
Yeah.
single-
I
Social
don't need that
media
shit.
has been. I've seen a lot of my friends, or people that follow out mutually, like we follow each other, deactivate their accounts.
I seen that too.
And while we on the topic,
Yeah.
like, let me say this, and I'm gonna say this the best way I can to
Hold
black,
on to your butts.
to black Twitter, but there have been a group, and I understand people being angry and being upset, and you know what I'm saying, like you have a right to be upset, you have a right to be angry, but
Yeah.
you do not have a right to talk wild aggressive to people on social media.
Yeah. That,
And like
yeah.
I've seen a lot of black counterparts do that, and that is so
In what
wrong.
way, too? Like,
In a way where it's like,
It's not
say we
productive.
have a slightly different view
Oh,
on the
okay.
police.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like where some people say like we need to defund the police. Like essentially like a Killer Mike versus like I don't know somebody who's in the black like Killer Mike versus like somebody in the community who's like extreme with their like
Okay.
black beliefs. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
Killer
saying?
Mike versus Kodak Black.
Oh, really?
No. I would say
Ah,
somebody. Like somebody who's pretty like, man, fuck 12, blah blah blah. This
Yeah,
that, and the
yeah.
third
Who has no
versus
filter.
Killer Mike, who's like, well,
I'm gonna tell you. Boom,
let me
boom,
tell
boom,
you
boom.
how this needs to change or
Yeah.
what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because
or how you can help.
like even with like people who have slightly different views on whatever, kind of going at each other,
It's been attack mode on people.
like calling
Yeah.
people coons and shit.
Oh.
Coon
okay.
is jumping on Twitter right now.
Yeah.
Calling
It's
people
jumping.
coons, calling people goofy. Like I understand some people like, and it's funny. Like I don't know if you guys know about the new phrase of what we say, keeping it 100 now is keeping it two Virgils.
Virgil.
Oh yeah.
Virgil chance.
So the story behind that.
Yo, he is out of control.
So no. Let me. So I don't think a lot of people see the division, and this is why. Like this has been on my heart to say about just people saying whatever the fuck they want to say, like on social media, right?
All the time, yeah.
So and just talking about like right now was what was going on. So with the Virgil situation, like my perspective is I can see somebody's track record, right, when it comes to life decisions or things that they say. And I can make a judgment call based on their track record. But if I don't know them personally and I haven't seen their track record, like I can't judge their heart on a certain matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know Virgil personally, and I don't know his track record when it comes to black issues. But what I saw he did is he took a screenshot of donating $50, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, nigga, the cheapest
would
thing
you-
on your site is $200, and it's a wallet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everything is up from there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so what he did was everybody clowned him, but he came back the next day and was like, that was a screenshot. I tagged a friend. I was matching his donation. And to my followers, I was showing them how easy it is for you. You don't have to give $1,000. You don't have to
Yeah.
give $500. Give
You and
something.
You and your friends
Yeah.
can match $10.
Like you
Yeah.
guys can match $10, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why when I donated, I saw a lot of celebrities say match. I challenge these people to match $1,000. Who can match this? I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah.
But my personal conviction at that moment was, let me just say to my followers, hey, donate what you can. Every amount helps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so maybe that man didn't want to say how much he donated, like on the low, but he was showing his followers what they could do.
Yeah.
Now, what I saw on Twitter was I saw Mick Jenkins.
Damn, I've heard that name.
He
in a minute.
tweeted. He said, Don C. and what did he say? Don C. and he was like Virgil, and he put comma fucking goofies.
Damn.
Right? He called them goofies, right? So then
Headshot.
I saw right. So then I saw Lupe come behind him and quote him,
I know Lupe had another chop.
and all he said, no.
Oh,
He just
okay.
said no. He said Virgil is a black creative who's super gifted, super intelligent, super talented, blah blah blah. Essentially, like saying like he's a good dude. Like you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like let's not do that. And I saw why he did it. You know what I mean? And then Mick Jenkins quoted that and said, that still don't mean they can't be goofy.
Oh,
right?
shit.
So what I saw Lupe doing was saying like, let's not tear each other down.
And especially
In
these
this
times.
time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's
You
not
can't save this?
Let's not tear each other down. If somebody needs to be educated, educate them. But do we really know what that man gave out of his pockets?
No, hell no.
Do we know that? You know, now
Yeah.
I get it. The joke is funny. The Virgil joke is hilarious, right?
Yeah, $50 really?
Virgil chance.
Right.
That shit is
But at
funny.
the same time, it's like, why are we doing that to each other during this time? Black people. I'm speaking on black people and doing it to other people. Like, just speaking, and it's like I'm going to say this too. Some of y'all that I know who speaking wild, that I follow you on social media, y'all not built like that in real life. I'm gonna say that. Some of
They
y'all I know
always-
that be making these comments. If you was face to face with these people, you not built like that in real life.
But see, but that's why
so why
it's happening.
you doing that?
It's happening because of that reason. I feel like it's a generational thing. They
Yeah.
don't know the consequences of their
Right.
actions,
And it's-
so they
Yeah.
feel like they could just do whatever they want
And
or
they
say
can just
whatever
say,
they want.
or they just super angry in the moment. And
Yeah, and
but
they
it's
let them- yeah.
but it's just it's not cool. Like they're more like you and I. We've talked about these educated conversations
Yeah.
that we can have, and that's why I love Killer Mike so much because he's educated, he's knowledgeable, right? But he still stands flat-footed on what he believes as a black man, and it's pro-black, you know. But it's also very diplomatic at the same time, where it's like if you don't get it, like even with the Drew Brees situation, he said he's a very smart man, but that was a very stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
That is how you combat stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he gave a lot of facts, a lot of history. He said everything, like he intellectually stated his point. And I understand you can't do that in 280 characters, but at the same time, it's like, don't use those 280 characters to put somebody else down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because everything that we seeing and everything that's going on right now, we're going forward right now.
Yeah.
We're like, why I'm trying to go forward and you over here trying to get me to turn to the left to have a little argument with
have
you.
an argument. This
Nigga,
is the
do you-
worst time to be doing
And it's like,
that.
do you not see the light, bruh? Be
Yeah,
quiet.
yeah.
Be quiet. We're all going
Or
that
if
direction.
if we have a disagreement, then we can agree to disagree. You know what I'm saying? We can educate each other's points on what we see, like police and all that stuff like that. Like we can have a conversation about that, and you might be able to, like, I might be a little too far left on something. You could give me a whole new perspective of like, and I'm like, damn, like I didn't think about this.
Yeah.
Like we need to be educated and researching, doing our history, knowing the facts, and educating one another on this instead of bringing other people down. Because you can go on Twitter and like go at other people. Oh, that's dumb, that's stupid, or whatever the case is. Now, I get it. Certain things there's certain things you could say I would be ashamed. Like this is not cute.
Yeah.
There's a certain way to disapprove of things.
Yeah.
But you just being super aggressive with niggas like on social media and bashing people. It's like, yo, do you realize this is an actual person on the other side with feelings?
They don't.
No, hell no.
That
They
is
don't really-
black, that is going through the same experience that you're going, or somewhat of the same experience
Especially
you're
if
going
you're
through right
black.
now.
You know.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
It's a better way. So I feel like that is stupid.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
It's crazy. Like, it feels like during this time that everything should be at a minimum when it comes to like gang violence, beefs, all that shit squashed right now.
It
Like,
should be.
It should be. It should be. But it's
When
never-
was it when the Bloods and the Crips like was
I
it
saw
like
that
police
in the-
brutality like a long time ago, like where
Yeah,
they like
it was
the
like
Bloods and the Crips like united for like a couple
16 or
they put
was
their
like 16.
bandanas
Yeah.
together in the
I
street
remember that.
against the police. I forget what that
and
was.
they did it again recently.
They did.
I saw
Oh,
a
yeah, I
blood,
didn't see that.
a blood crip and a Latin king.
Oh shit.
They tied their flags together
Damn, that's
somewhere
so
on there. Yeah, so it's happening again. But I
Okay.
remember when it happened before,
Yeah,
though.
I remember a certain.
Yeah, because it's like, bro, if gangs can come together right now,
Yeah, what the
People
fuck
who
is
are
wrong
really
with you?
active out here, like
Yeah.
active,
like
Out here.
Yeah, like
like,
if they're lit, because when they're talking about putting guns down, like they're legitimately putting guns down. Y'all haven't even picked one up yet. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
yeah, and it's just like you could do a lot better than just hurling your tweets at people because you frustrated and you upset about somebody that may not see things eye to eye.
yeah,
And it's ridiculous, man. Like
it's crazy.
Twitter fingers.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's just the main thing is like, and that was one of those things that I was talking about on the last podcast where it's like you got to double down on what you can do that's positive for this movement.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the main thing that everybody has to do. Like, I'm glad that it was already part of my brand anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just I get to
Right.
double down a little. It's just easier to double down. Like,
Yeah.
and I can understand the learning curve some people might have to go through when it comes to their brand has never been about Black lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now they're trying to incorporate marketing plans behind it, and you know what I mean? They're literally restructuring a whole new. They might be building a whole new thing for their brand right now. You know what I mean? Like whole new structure that they're not gonna be able to just. You can't start it and just drop it either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to build
Yeah.
something that's sustainable. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was saying, like, with the the virtue signaling thing, we won't know. Some of them we won't know if they're just doing it as a business strategy. However, it's
Until
still
we see.
helpful. It's still helpful.
Yeah. Everything helps right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah.
feel like some of it is just when you're not explicit, it's just kind of like a.
We might see.
We want to say this, but we don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes if you really for it, you're going like you gotta say it,
You're gonna double down.
and you have to, and you're gonna offend people. It's just that's the truth is going to offend people regardless. Like
And we have to remember, us especially, we're in the South, so we're always the last to
It's
catch
real
up
life.
to progress.
I want that. I want that flag thing.
What
really
flag?
bad. The flag. I want
Confederate
I want
thing?
the Confederate flag to be
Oh,
made
to be,
illegal, and all the statues
it should be, man.
and all the statues to come down.
It should be because it's
That's
just,
something that I want.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it should be because it represents something that is not in law anymore.
Yeah, it's nigga.
So
this is
why-
not real? This isn't happening no more.
Right.
Yeah.
So why is it still? I mean, I guess you kind of
How
run
do you
into
get a
freedom of
statue
speech.
and you lost?
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? Michael
Yeah.
Jordan has a statue because he won
Right.
rings. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
You don't see Charles Barkley with a statue.
yeah.
No disrespect, Charles.
No
Barkley.
disrespect to Charles Barkley. You just don't. You typically you don't get. But America gives participation trophies out all the time.
All the time, bro.
A for effort.
All the time.
They gotta. They give a lot of
Yeah.
participation trophies out. They gotta cut that out.
Yeah, man.
And see,
I don't know.
and one of the reasons why a lot of white people are, fighting to keep it, of course, we know, but it's because they always bring up the whole, well, this is my heritage. This is part of
Yeah.
my family.
And that's a
that's-
problem.
And that's the worst
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
And if they're doubling down on how bad it is,
This is
Yeah.
my
because-
heritage.
Yeah, it's, I know
Literally-
it used to be bad, but it's my culture.
Literally, you
and-
connect this to the values. So
Yeah.
the values is part of your family culture that you don't want to give away.
That's a problem.
That's the culture you're supposed to be getting
You
away.
should be.
It's a lot. It's too much pride. It's too much pride in the way. It's too much. They don't want to be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they try to make it right. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But I mean, I still appreciate what certain brands have said. We talked about Ben and Jerry's, Call of Duty, Splice, the place where Pelham Jr.
Yeah.
They made a very definitive, like pretty much like without black musicians there is no Splice. Like, and they donated like $50,000 to just different organizations to help out.
I love it. I love
So
it.
and they
And I know that felt good because you do a
Oh,
lot
it-
of business
oh.
with them. Yeah.
it felt good, man.
Sweat.
It felt
Wipe the
good
sweat.
cause they I mean
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
right, it was beautiful, man. And they shut on the Blackout Tuesday. They didn't drop anything. And when you went to their site, the banner that kind of displays like what's popping at the moment, every other banner had that statement on it, and they didn't drop anything. It was silent. So I really appreciated that. I don't want to speak too much on other people that we haven't worked with that we haven't really seen anything from.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to, I'm figuring like some things out. Just other things that I want to do as an artist or that we talked about doing
Yeah.
for the area because I think it's necessary for artists around here. Also, to a point of what we talked about as far as making statements and stuff. Like, there was another thing that I saw that I really didn't like that people were kind of getting at it is like how you're getting the word out. Like, there's different ways to protest.
Exactly.
And that's one thing that I think some people have been dealing with, and I've seen black people do it, which I do not like and disapprove of. They've condemned other people.
On their way of contributing.
Right, on their way of
Yeah,
contributing.
I've definitely seen that. And that's
Or
not
if you're
right at
not
all.
in the streets,
If you're not in the streets,
yeah.
you ain't.
You're not
That-
protesting.
You ain't
that
doing
one's even
nothing.
that one's even crazier.
Yeah.
That one's even crazier.
Um,
But can we go back real quick to
Yeah.
that blackout?
Yeah.
yeah, let's talk about that.
How did y'all feel about the blackout? Because I have my opinions on it.
So do I. Yeah, I'm sort of split. Because I
It
love
is-
the
it-
sentiment.
Yeah, and it almost goes back to what
You
you
know?
were saying. The
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
I'm not gonna completely bash it
Yeah.
or like down it
Yeah.
is because I see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah,
So
it could
that's
possibly
not-
help in
that's-
the long run.
Right.
That's not productive. But at the same time, it was really
It
confusing.
was like today we're not giving out
Very.
any
It was
information.
very
Is
confusing,
that
yeah.
good?
I think that I do know where I found out where it originated from.
Oh shit, where?
It was these two ladies. I can't remember but they came up with it as an idea too. But I felt like
They probably just threw the idea out, and that's why it was so.
no.
money.
Well, they wrote something. They said something about it, and it was specifically for like black musicians and artists. Like that's how it started off.
Got you.
And then they made a statement about it. I wish I had it in front of me. I didn't know you was going. I should have had it in front of me.
It's all good, yeah.
But they made a statement about it saying how, we see that artists, black musicians in the industry, of course we get shortchanged or we get like looked over, like just different stuff like that, or done like dirty or whatever.
Yeah.
And pretty much like this is gonna be our silence, day that no music, they was like, we're gonna continue to do this, but just for this day we're kind of just blacking out. And I think there could have been like maybe a video on different ways on how to do this blackout, because I saw a lot of content creators on IG do it, but then people started putting the hashtag Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, and everybody was like, no, don't do that, because then you're going to block out important information.
Yeah.
Right. And
that needs to be spread on.
Yeah,
on
and
this
I think
day.
they could have been a little bit more. I appreciate what they did.
Yeah,
But they could have been a little bit.
The execution wasn't.
What
good.
I liked, what I saw Apple Music, what they did,
That was fire.
that was fire.
That was
Like,
fire.
so they
I don't even think
they did. You know how they have like the different beats on radio shows. So instead of like blacking out like their tweets and stuff or
in
not,
their
they did a one beats show radio. They did one like stream. It was no other shows that day. One stream of all black music, and it wasn't like safe black music.
Yeah.
It was whatever.
They was playing like Fonte, like the specific songs that talked about black issues.
Okay. Yeah.
They played Solange. They played Public Enemy. They were playing like everything.
Damn.
Night.
You couldn't even browse. Like if you were to click the browse or the for
You could not.
It automatically went to the playlist.
So that's the first thing.
Damn.
But what happened was people thought that their Apple Music app wasn't working, because when you go to the way they did it is when you logged into the app. Usually when I go into my Apple Music app, it goes to my playlist, right?
Yeah.
But when you open the app that day, it went straight to that stream.
yeah.
Oh damn.
So people
It's
was
like
like,
a little
I can't.
message, and then it was just like, listen now. Like you had no choice.
So you had to hit play before you moved over to anything
you had to
else.
go to that first.
Yeah. You had to.
Damn.
It was
It
fire.
was dope.
That is fire, and that's
Yeah.
aggressive too.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
aggressive.
that's
Which I
aggressive.
loved it.
You finna
Yeah.
get this black music.
Yeah, you finna
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
whether it's 2 seconds or not. You gonna
get it.
You gonna get this.
You gonna
Yeah.
get it. And so I actually worked out to that like that day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, these Black Power like playlists are slapping. What was trending on? Because I've been trying to use Spotify more since like I'm on there. I try to use it more. Vince Staples' 16 Shots popped up.
Okay.
I forgot all about that song.
Oh,
That
the one with the
song-
black and white video? No.
No, the
Okay,
video
no,
was in
that was
color,
different.
but he was like on top of police cars.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I do remember.
But
that.
the song, I forgot that song was.
Crazy.
Hard, yeah.
Because he was addressing, I mean, he hit it. He talking about the mayor, the superintendent. Like,
Yeah.
he held everybody
He went-
accountable
he
in that
went
song.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot how powerful that song
Yeah, I
was.
mean, I the first, like that's what my mind. But even before I saw the music, the Apple Music thing, I was like, I'm like, fuck a blackout, because these labels don't care. Like they don't really care about it. Labels, like I'm not all of them,
Yeah.
but a lot of the
Yeah.
major
Majority of 'em,
labels,
yeah.
like
And it's just a known thing.
some of these artists, like I'm not. So what I did was, before I even saw the Apple Music thing, is I went to my Twitter stories. I mean, not Twitter stories. I wish they had stories. I went to my IG stories, and I just went through a list of like black artists, local and ones that I know, like just listening to their music and just kind of like listen to black music today.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I definitely listened to Pimp a Butterfly from beginning to end. Like I had to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would have been a good one.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that was cool, but I just felt like they could have kind of told people different ways to do it.
It's just the execution was bad. That was
It
all.
was kind of
mean Apple?
bad.
No, just the blackout.
Oh,
Blackout.
Oh,
execution.
yeah,
It
that's
was
what we're talking about. Yeah,
just
that's
the
it.
execution.
Yeah, and see, and we also have to remember that. I mean, unless you guys know, but we don't know who started it.
Yeah, no.
Dewey?
He found the page. Yeah.
Okay, who started it?
Yeah, I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember their names right now. But it's these two black ladies who pretty
Okay,
much
good.
work within the music industry, and theirs was for like artists, but I think
Oh.
like IG content creators kind of took it and did it like we just gonna not post anything that
Okay.
day.
Yeah. It
was
And
weird.
Sort of
And
like
then
changed the
they
meaning of
added
it.
like the hashtag and all that stuff like that, and it just blacked out.
Blacked
a lot.
out everything.
It happened so fast too. Like it
Bruh, the
really
timeline
reminded
went
me
black
of like the internet and how
instantly.
fast shit moves.
And you know what's And you know what's crazy is I thought we weren't supposed to be spending money, and that was another.
thought,
And that was another confusion.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
what was crazy was I was on Spotify and I was listening to Nipsey, and then I bought a shirt. I spent $100 on his.
On that day.
I spent $100 on Marathon clothing.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I hit somebody up, and they were like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Yo, I just got like 3 pieces from the Marathon brand. I just spent $100 over there, like, and I'm chilling now, playing the game."
Yeah.
They were like, "You're not supposed to spend money today." I said, "I'm
the
But
not."
you spent black money though.
And I was like,
You
"But it
spent
was
on the black,
yeah, it was the Marathon though. You know what I mean?"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I was like, it was so many different things
I
that
didn't
we
even think about that,
people
like,
thought that we were supposed to do. It was just
Yeah.
strange execution. But I wasn't gonna dare like jump out there and be like, "Yo, this is dumb as hell. Like, what is going on?" Because
Right.
something's happening.
Yeah, because I get it.
Yeah, I get it. I
yeah.
get it. And this
It's
is
like
only,
beyond your control.
This is
really.
only a 1 day thing. It's not like
Yeah. It's not blackout 2020.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. So I
Don't
mean,
do anything
I,
for the year.
Yeah, because me and my wife, like, I told her I was like, I'm not doing it, like, and I explained to her why, and she was like, I understand, and I think we were kind of talking about like, she was like, well, I'll delete my post, and I'm like, nah, don't delete it. Like, I was like, why? Like, she explained to me, I guess she saw like Kevin on stage and like other content creators do it and why they did it. And I just told her, I was like, nah, I said, I understand that perspective too. Cause they was like, we're just not going to post anything today.
Yeah.
This is how we're protesting.
Kind of like a moment of silence thing.
Yeah,
and you
kinda
don't want
like
to
a
be the
moment
first
of
to
silence, yeah.
say something.
But I was
yeah.
telling her, I was like, just make sure you don't use any hashtags.
Exactly.
Like just use Blackout Tuesday or whatever. So it was like, you could see both.
see
She's
both.
not a
Yeah,
music
yeah.
artist, so she, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she handles everybody handled it differently, and I think that could have been a better way if they actually gave suggestions. Like, here's what you can do. Like
Some
how to
people
do
did
these
that.
blackouts.
Like they
Yeah.
had the blackout, but they'd have like white words of like black businesses to support.
I
and
saw that. I
stuff
saw
like
that.
that. Yeah. So some people did that. Yeah.
How y'all holding out with the curfew? You had an.
I haven't been to Raleigh.
You had an extremely funny.
Wait a minute,
Is that tonight?
it's tonight.
Yeah,
every
but we
night,
in
pretty
Garner.
much?
We ain't in Raleigh, so we safe.
Okay.
Yeah. We good. I think it's 10 p.m. tonight,
Oh yeah.
but we safe though.
Okay.
Because we in Garner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I got my essential worker papers.
But yeah,
wait a
but
minute,
them
if
L's
if
is
you
not
drive
that-
through Raleigh at a certain time,
I don't think it. I don't even
No,
think it's a
they-
drive-through. I think it's only
No.
for protesters.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
it.
Pretty
Like
much.
you need to be in the car traveling. You do not need to be on the side of the road or in the middle of
Got
the street.
you.
I think that's really all it is.
Got
like
you.
I don't think they're pulling you over. Like what are you doing out?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm almost
Like martial
positive.
law hasn't kicked in fully yet.
That's martial law. Yeah. Martial law is like there
It's
should
like wear hair away, but still.
I didn't.
If it's not a military vehicle or a police car, you're not supposed to be out.
See, I've done everything. I have done everything. We talked about this too. I've done everything but protest because I want to see it organized. Like I want to see an organized protest. I want to be a part of an organized protest for two reasons. But one, because we talked about it could be more. We've seen what's happened. It doesn't this doesn't negate everything else because it's been effective.
Yeah.
But when you have something organized, and I'm pretty sure the ones that we've seen in other states, I believe I know some of those. The way the numbers of people have been showing up, just some of the like NAACP, like different Black Lives Matters movements. But I feel like some of these, you can tell some of the ones that are not organized protests because then you got just some people just saying whatever, doing
people
whatever.
still looting. I feel like looting.
People are
stopped.
infiltrating the peaceful
protest.
protest. Yeah, and that's what I tried to do
That
on
too.
Blackout Tuesday. What I did was, I put the black square or whatever, but in my description, I put that I have a bunch of footage proving that many of the looters and rioters are white.
Definitely.
You know, so
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that's what I've been lately really trying to spread. I'm just like, look, there are people infiltrating the movement right now who
Yeah.
are not us.
Yeah.
So, but
And
we're
they're
getting the
doing
blame
it.
though.
And,
Everybody's blaming on
I've
black
seen plenty
people.
of videos of people protesting peacefully, checking the people.
I saw that one too.
They were
Doing
doing
this-
it out there too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have to continue to do that to
I
I
feel like
you
the
gotta
looting
check those.
is the
Yeah,
looting
yeah.
even happening anymore?
I think no, I don't think it is.
Not as much.
Not as much, but
Niggas
I
is
just
definitely getting arrested for
It was about 2 days where it was.
it was crazy.
It was
But
crazy.
I would say like I've done everything but that. And it's just the other, just like my wife, she's been a little scared of me to go out. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I made a tweet that said like the anxiety our black women are going through right now.
yeah, like
yeah.
she's been a little scared for me to like even
Can't
now before I left to come. I was like, it's gonna be
Going
all right.
straight
I'm
there.
going straight there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so she's been a little like iffy about me going out. So that's
So we on high alert. Right
so
now.
other than that, like I've done everything but be out there in the physical protest, but I've been having a bunch of phone conversations and all that and donated. So I really
It's a
just
lot
been
of
at the
mon-
crib. Like,
It's really a lot of money that's been going around, and
if you donated, that's helpful. That's part of it.
okay.
you know?
So Sean got a note in here that says LAPD have a $3 billion budget. Did y'all know this?
No, I did not.
I just
That's the whole
I read it
defund
like
the-
17 times, bro, to make sure that was a B.
well, you know, a lot of these cities, like a good portion of their tax dollar payers or
Goes
tax
to the
dollars
police.
goes like.
So if
in,
you in a
in a
city-
lot of cities,
That means
depending-
what's so? I want to know what Atlanta's tax
in
dollars.
a lot of cities, there's
You know what I'm
been
saying?
like
It's a lot of money.
a lot of cities. The average that I've seen, because I've done a little like just seeing, like looking around, it's been like 40% or greater.
Damn, of the tax dollars going to the police.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why they got the best guns, the best shields, the best armor. Like,
Well, they're military. They've been
That's why they're
militarizing the
militarized.
police for a decade now.
bro, this is the thing. I see. It's all right. So, they have a $3 billion budget, right? I'm just gonna throw some numbers out here. We already know the Virgils are out here. $50. Kanye West donated $2 million and was protesting in Chicago.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan donated $100 million to fight for race equality. Now, I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Is that
Kinda,
an organization?
Well,
The
they
fight
said
for
that it
race
is, right?
equality. You know what I mean?
I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. But it was I saw a full statement and it
From
was
him.
like it was definitely like on point. Like,
So what are
yeah.
they gonna do? They're gonna make people.
And it sounds like they have
Equality?
several departments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm
But it's
assuming
gonna be over 10 years.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
100 million over 10
So it's like he
years.
put him on a payment plan almost. Like
He's gonna be donating, yeah.
got you.
Which I think is
which is Playboy. That's fire right there. That's fire right
They
there.
got some money.
Look, that's what he's like. He said, "I couldn't
Got
give you
that
all
shmoney."
now, but why not just get you a 10-year salary real quick of 100
Right,
million? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Which is a better way because they'll be able to affect change over 10 years.
Right. Which
Real
I think
powerful
is very
change,
thoughtful. Yeah.
which is smart. Not giving it all at one time.
Yeah.
But
Who else have you seen?
those are the only ones. And then to be the flip side of that, we see what it might be fake news. We don't know what the hell is happening, but food businesses and corporations, fast food restaurants donating to the Trump cause. So it's like we don't even know.
Like I
So,
said,
but it's
like-
just so much money going around, and I feel like with this main thing, I don't know, like people are donating for presidential candidates, right?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. I feel like on our side, we should just be donating to police reform, police training, and like I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. Like I don't
like
know.
the laws being changed, like the systematic laws being changed.
So-
like,
Yeah.
I feel like those are the two places that we
Yeah.
should only be focusing on, like systematic
yeah,
law
yeah,
changing
yeah.
individuals
Yeah.
and police
Yeah.
training.
Yeah.
I will say to that, I'm so glad you brought this up.
Yeah,
Because we all agreed the system was not was not built for us.
And still
right?
isn't built
It
for
still
us.
isn't.
Yeah.
It was because I think some people said that the system is broken. It was never like whole to
It was
begin
never
with.
fixed.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
It was
never
never
yeah, it
whole
was
to
never whole.
begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was never built for us. Which, like to me, like I agree with defunding the police because they had what was that 8?
What does defunding the police mean, actually?
So literally, they would get
I mean, obviously, they probably can't get $3 billion budgets every year. So that's pretty much the main thing.
They get less because a lot of those the monies are used towards like weapons and all that salaries and all.
Yeah.
So I think that it's essentially taking more tax dollars and putting towards other places.
Yeah.
Rather than funding the police so they can buy
buy stuff to overpower the people that they're supposed to be protecting.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
'Cause they got too much money.
There
Like,
was-
why do they even have all this?
There was
They got endless supply of tear gas.
There was this one dude, this white dude that was, I think he was before like I think like the I can't remember where he was, but essentially like he was talking to, I think it was like the county like board or something like that. But essentially, he called out a training that the police learned, a military like training class that they got for a war tactic, like
Which you don't need as a police officer because you're not in war.
and
Or are we?
They've been on war against us. They've been on war against us.
Right, but the training, like you can imagine how much that costs.
It's like, what are we training?
Yeah.
So if you defund
true,
them,
true.
like they get less stuff like that. They can't
Yeah.
pay for stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
like the tax dollars payers can be focused in other areas than essentially them buying more weapons and buying more of this and
But
buying these trainings.
they've been
and,
waging war against us this whole time.
Yeah.
and from my understanding, and I need to get more on a basic level of understanding. That's what essentially like they get less of the tax dollars payers.
Yeah, they need to, bro.
And yeah, they get less of the tax dollars, and like so that doesn't allow them to buy these different things, weaponize themselves essentially more than what they have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what else is crazy is that like, like everybody knows police training isn't extensive enough. Everybody's always said police training is not extensive enough, but I didn't know what the magnitude of that was until I saw that girl holding that sign at a protest that said the police training. No, to be a barber and a salon training is 1,500 hours. Police training is 850 hours.
Yeah.
So you're doing almost twice as much training just to cut somebody's hair
Yeah.
before they.
So
give
wait a minute. You
before
said
they-
that backwards, and you said what now?
So police training is only 850 hours
Okay.
at the academy. To
Right.
be a cosmetologist is 1,500 hours.
Somebody said
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's harder
You
to
said
be a
15,
doctor.
I don't think you said 1,500. I thought you said 15 for some reason.
Oh no, 1,500.
1,500. Yeah.
1,500. Yeah,
Yeah, like it's-
1,500 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody brought up the similar point with being a doctor. Like, to be a
Yeah,
doctor, it
it's
takes
like
years to
years,
get the
yeah.
doctorate,
So
but,
Because
the
some
police, it takes
jobs,
weeks.
some jobs you're not allowed to make mistakes in.
Yeah.
So me and my homie Sway were talking. We had this big ass conversation about the necessary police training that needs to happen because I can't remember what was that thing going around, the eight can wait or something. What was that thing going around, or not 8 can wait? It was something essentially like more restrictions, 8 more restrictions that can be used for the police that will keep them from doing certain things. And it's like we don't need restrictions. More restrictions added, like essentially like you can't cut off your body count, or you can't do this, or right.
Yeah.
No, you need to chop down the whole fucking tree and replant that joint.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And we talked about, like, I was watching IG Live with Amanda Seales and Snoop Dogg. When I saw them going again, I was like, oh, this is finna be fire.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, Snoop was talking about how, like, police officers, black police officers would give them game if young dudes out here selling weed. It's like, hey, look, man, kind of pulling them to the side. Like,
That's true, yeah.
And giving them game, like, yo, like, I understand you doing what you're doing, like, blah, 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 but look, like, stay away from this area. Like,
Yeah.
And like, he even talked about, like, he said he feels like should be mandatory that police officers live in the neighborhoods they're patrolling.
Now,
And Amanda was like, so they can't shit where they sleep.
yeah.
And my homie Matt was like, I wrote a whole college paper on that theory. And I think that's one of the...
But this is, I understand fully as well why this is the flip side of that argument on why police don't do that. Because you won't shit where you won't sleep, but it's also more corruption. It's possibly can lead to more corruption. Because if you're the kingpin in my neighborhood and you got people that'll do whatever, you moving the most blow, you got people that'll do hits for you, all that. And we grew up together. Now I'm the police chief. I fear your power too because
Oh my God, this is like Lincoln Heights.
because I
Y'all
know how
remember
much
that
power
show?
you
Oh,
have.
yeah, I
You know what I
remember that
mean?
That's exactly how that is.
Yeah, so I know how much power you have. You know what I mean? So I might know this dude that I grew up with, he's got an organization that commits murders. They sell coke. They've completely killed this area, but I have fear of moving in because we've grown up together. I know how the people in my neighborhood will be viewing me now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get both sides of that too. You know
Yeah,
what
I
mean?
get both, but I feel like that's not just the only thing. Like, I feel like, you know...
Now you won't shit where you sleep when it comes to the terms of I won't kill you in broad daylight.
Kill you in broad day. I won't be harassing you.
But we got to think about what other problems might arise just because black people aren't getting killed by the police in those neighborhoods.
Right.
They're also have the worst drug problem in that neighborhood
Right.
too. You know what I mean? So it's like, but there's so many countries. Like, I love when times like this happen just because you get to find out how other countries are operating, and also. I haven't done this yet, but I've seen videos of people in other countries. Bruh, if you have a friend who's not from America, ask their perspective on this because the police are different in every place.
different, man.
It's so different. Like
Some places
our
are worse.
normal, like we can lose our lives to the police, and that's normal to us.
Yeah.
Like them, black people are cursing the police out over in London and shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Because that is the last thing on their mind that the police would kill them. So like hearing somebody from overseas perspective on how the police treat you.
It does exist over there.
It
No,
does
but
exist.
it's
not as bad as
Nowhere
here.
near as
Yeah.
bad.
Nowhere
Like
near.
I saw tweets, and mind you, we all know we can't believe tweets can always be false.
Right.
But it's like there's certain countries who the police force has only killed as an entire country 10 to 15 people
Yeah.
in one year.
Yeah, no, that's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, that's the training that we need to be imitating because you're clearly doing something right.
Yeah.
We
Those
need
10
that.
to 15
we
people.
need to be paying for that training.
Yeah, we need to be
Instead of
paying for that
military.
training because we know those 10 to 15 people, bro. You had to kill them clearly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you only have 10 to 15 at the end of the
Yeah,
year,
if it was like the last resort or something.
this
It
is
would
the
never
last.
happen.
supposed
This
to be
whole
the last
country was
resort.
just built on violence.
It damn sure was.
They like that. They love violence. They love it.
Bro, just think about how when Trump speaks and it rallies up those poor middle class people where they're like, I wish they would tell him that he has to leave the White House. I got a 45 that'll say different. You know what I mean? Like they're speaking aggressively.
Can't
at
even
the-
spell 40.
Yeah, right. I just put a number. That's all.
Hey,
I
y'all
can do.
remember when Trump was running his protest, bruh? If you were there protesting against it, they was punching you on the way
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're violent,
remember-
especially that segment of people.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember like how he even recently he been using words like these thugs. And,
Yeah,
and you know
and
he
stuff
put in
like
all
that gets
caps.
you-
And
stuff
I'm
like that gets you
know
hot.
what
It's
he's doing.
just hot.
Because then white people
Yeah.
they know what a thug is.
You
So
kill
in
a
their
thug.
minds, when
Yeah.
he says thug, that's why I keep telling people it's a psychological thing. Like these white people are brainwashed by their own fucking.
That's
You
why
know-
he's so successful, though, because he says everything so simple. He uses good and really good. It's a really good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he uses words like that. He used kindergarten communication.
Yeah, my stepdad
And
said that.
Common man words.
Yeah.
Extremely common man words, and that's why he was able to resonate with all
With
those
them.
lower middle class people because
Low education.
low
yeah.
education. But we all have kindergarten basic communication.
Yeah, my
And
my
that's what he's
stepdad
speaking
was
of.
like he won because my stepdad he is kind of like a hustler, so it's probably like it takes one to know one. He was just like he's a hustler, that's why he won.
Yeah.
He knew
Yeah.
exactly what to
man.
say.
Yeah.
And
It was a
got it.
marketing plan. He executed successful marketing plans before.
Yeah, that's how he
And
got
it
to
was
where he
another
is.
marketing plan for the presidency chair, which leads us to the next conversation. And I just don't know because I don't know what's going to happen with this next election. Because I don't know what's going to happen with this next election. Trump,
It is.
because before this started happening, before this started happening, I knew
leak.
Trump was going to get another 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, I was confident in
yeah.
Trump getting another 4 years
Yeah.
before this Black Lives Matter
now,
resurgence.
I don't know.
But now it's a little bit closer of a race. You know
I
what I
think-
mean?
and I'm not
we
s-
get to see what that silence is. We get to see for the first time all these people that have been silent, what kind of numbers we're working with. You know what I mean? Like, we get to see, like,
Nobody's
have we
getting
converted a
excited.
lot of the left? You know what I mean?
That
Or the
is
right,
true.
I mean.
I mean, I'm not saying those elections aren't like the major, the primary elections aren't important. But I really think during this time we need to really focus on local elections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's where it happens first. Like,
Yeah.
like that. Like,
Do we
I've-
know?
huh?
When is the next local election?
I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Do we know?
Sometimes that should be slipping under the radar.
Bro,
I'm like,
the local elections always go. Slip
So
under
that
the
was like
radar.
another thing with the whole Blackout thing, because a lot of people on Blackout Tuesday, that was like their election day.
It was.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that on
people was
Angela
like,
Rise,
"Oh,
yeah.
this is y'all
like
trying
Montana
to go against the
and
grain."
like Delaware.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like it wasn't that many. It was like 7 to 10
Arizona, maybe?
cities or something like
Philly
that.
I think Philly was included.
But I saw that on
Philly.
Angela Rise's page. She was like, "Don't let that fool you. You have to go out and vote today.
need
Today,
to.
still, if you're in these cities."
Because I think like what some people don't know, which I wish was exposed more, that there are some people that run for office that have ties or are a part of neo-Nazis
Yes.
or the KKK. And
What we were talking about the last time.
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
white
you
supremacy is
you
in
don't
the
know
system
where it's
itself.
come.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, like that stuff needs I applaud some of these like social media like content creators and figures. Like, you know, this dude Pop Vasquez, I think that's how you say his last
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Timberland dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he went on a barrage of posts where he was posting up like videos and stories of white people saying racist shit and then taking screenshots of where they worked and tagging their companies and
So
like
they
so
would get
people
fired.
so they yes.
Yeah.
And I
Oh, yeah, a lot
I
of people-
loved it.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm loving the most too. So there's a couple things.
And in the caption, he
Yeah.
would be like, "Oh, so he would tag the company. He was like, "Oh, so this is what y'all approve of?
Yeah,
this
and
is
then
how
they get
y'all
cold
roll.
feet.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. This that and the
And
third.
he's got a huge market too. So and he's
very tactful
and he's
very
deeply
educated.
and he's deeply embedded in Black Twitter.
Yes.
So when he says something,
Black Instagram, Black Twitter.
yeah, he's deeply embedded. So when he even makes one post, we can take it from there.
Damn,
Be
he been
like,
like
thank
detective.
you.
Yeah.
Like we have something new to run off of now.
Yeah.
They already been on the phone like this.
Right.
Quick.
Yeah.
I'm about to call and leave a message.
So these are like I'm over here. I'm crazy. Like, and I'm realizing, but
What's
it's
up?
not. It's not crazy. While as we're talking, I'm like writing a list of like my demands. You know what I'm
Really?
saying? So like police training. I want the Confederate flag down. Statues removed. Fire the people unless that's what their company gets down with, and you own it. Then we at least know that company supports that. But I feel like, but I think this is illegal. I feel like some sort of list. Okay, I want the KKK to be made a terrorist group
Oh,
because what
yeah.
the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
They're just
I agree with
chilling, man.
I didn't realize how quick you can make a group a terrorist group until these names that what's the new name? The new shit that Trump was. It literally just started last week. Never heard of this shit until it became a terrorist group. And they're the ones that are saying. They're the people that are saying. Hey Leon, look this up for me, bro. Hey Leon, can you look up what's the
I may
name of
have
the
heard
what's
of
the
it,
name
I
of the
can't
group that is a terrorist group? It starts with an A, but Trump.
Like something like not Atina or
Adina or some shit like that?
Yeah,
What they're saying is a
I don't know
leftist-
who that
What the
is.
fuck is that,
Antifa.
bro?
Antifa.
What
I've been
the
hearing
fuck
a
is
lot of
Antifa?
that.
What that is.
Never heard
Something-
of Antifa till it became a terroristic
I'll
group.
tell
Yeah.
you.
Bruh, so
Yeah.
we don't have no Antifa history. That's number
Yeah.
one.
I learned about it this
but
week,
we
too.
have plenty of KKK history.
Yeah.
Yeah. See now,
How are they not a
Antifa-
terroristic group yet?
Another group of people that I've seen online, and I think they finna be pulling the covers off of all kind of shit is Anonymous.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
my
What
God.
is that
They have-
Anonymous?
So they're a group of like
Hackers.
like a bunch of different people who, like who come together like for the cause of the people. And one of the causes that they believe in is they believe Black Lives Matter. And so they will expose the fuck out of you, like they've been exposing Trump. I think I would really love to see them expose.
They did the whole, was it Epstein? Is that his name? Epstein?
Yeah, I just saw that.
That shit kind of fucked
But
me
they've
up.
been popping
the
up
2
in my
episodes.
timeline a lot lately, and
Anonymous.
because they come around when stuff like this happens, and then they go silent.
Yeah.
But I've been seeing them in my timeline so much.
They hacked into the Milwaukee cops database and leaked all the cops' addresses and emails.
Yep.
Oh, and I saw that, and
Yep.
they put that video together exposing how high their police brutality in
Yes.
that.
I didn't
just in
even
that
realize
city.
that Philandro was there. It was like
Yeah.
2 other black people that had got killed in Missouri too.
Like just the numbers
I didn't even pay- I
for the
didn't even
Milwaukee,
notice.
like them, they're like top in the country for police
Yeah.
brutality.
Yeah.
And there was like this video, and they just got their names in there,
Yeah.
the video evidence, like
I think another thing with police training, because me and my homie Sway was talking about this, is that every police officer needs to have a psych evaluation.
yes,
And they also need to have therapists that they go to on a monthly basis. Like, so you need a psych eval, and they need to find out are this job. I feel like the police job needs to request and find out if you're racist.
okay,
Because in
yeah.
the military,
yeah.
they don't tolerate that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked to some military dudes, like, they don't tolerate it, like, in the military. They really don't. Like, it could probably be low-key, but if they
But see,
see
I've
anything...
heard-
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm about to say it
Okay,
is-
now organized racism, no. But from what I've heard is that the military is extremely racist inside.
Definitely.
Like
I
when it
would've-
comes to
yeah,
the
for
training
sure.
and stuff like that,
and
like.
sexist, like
I've
a lot of
heard-
sex- a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
sexist
yeah.
I've heard that,
assault,
but
a lot
I've
of
heard...
racism.
But I think with that, like
with
organizations
the
and stuff
organization,
like that,
as far as they don't
yeah,
play that within like the units.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you
yeah,
think it's
yeah.
because the military is supposed to be sort of like a brotherhood, and we're
Yes.
we're on
Yes.
the same
Supposed to
team?
be,
But the
yeah.
police
So
are
you-
not like that though.
Yeah, and you can't be a part of the KKK because you're a part of the U.S. military.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
But
yeah,
the police
that's
is
why
like
they
I don't
tolerate
think
it.
the police have a brotherhood like that where it's like
No, they do,
They
but
have a
they do.
tolerance. They tolerate it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
Oh,
problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's
They
what
need
it
to-
is.
collectively
Yeah,
tolerate.
they need to. I feel like there needs to be a psych eval, and it needs to be like a situation where they don't tolerate any kind of like any form, fashion, or racism within the units of the police. Like, if you're gonna have this job and you're gonna continuously go to therapy, and we're gonna continue to check you and make sure, because over time, people can end up straying to be racist, like dealing with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different
Holy
races
shit!
and black
I just
people.
thought of something. I'm putting this fire list together right here.
Hey, man.
And
So this is gonna be the
This
best, the best
fire-
mixtape ever.
My nigga, what? When I say this list slaps, bro, if we ever get a politician in here,
Yeah.
this is what I'm requesting.
Suggested,
What
yeah.
can you do?
Yeah.
How can you help
Or do,
me
you
How
think
can you-
or do you think it's possible?
How can you help me today?
So this is what I got. I got police training. The flag needs to be made illegal.
Okay.
Statues removed. People who are part of organizations and like inflammatorily racist online, and they're saying racist shit online, like aggressive. They should lose their jobs unless they're already a part of a job that they co-sign that bullshit. And then obviously we know just stay away from them. I feel like KKK should be made a terroristic act. We should have a list of all KKK members. That should be public
That
knowledge.
That though, like,
Yes.
That should be public knowledge.
Especially the ones
I mean,
who are
we
running
do
for office.
we do have it, but we talking about like
yeah.
if it's on paper that you're a part of the KKK,
Like they have gang files.
exactly, yeah, like exactly, just like they got gang files, we need a KKK file, so
Yeah.
that the people that are alive in positions of power can be exposed, and we can get them out of there. And the people that are trying to rise to power, we can know what they're tied to,
Yeah.
or maybe what their family is tied to, so that we can vet them.
But what's going to happen is, like, not to say I agree with this stuff, I do, but it's going to be an issue of, well, that's private, that's
I know, and safety.
They
And I
can see
thought
it
about
as they can see it as like that, but
privacy
also they can be like
That's their right.
a religion type. They can make it like a religious
yeah.
group.
But if they
and-
make it into a terroristic group,
It's
then we can avoid that issue. But that's why
true.
we have to get it made a terroristic group
Right.
before,
Yeah,
so they
yeah,
can't
yeah.
turn it into a religion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what
Well,
I'm
it
saying?
already kind of is.
It already
Yeah.
kind of is, but still. Okay, this is my next point. I think that on top of the police training, the police department should have an investigations.
Yes.
Of all, I think every police department in the country, in order to eradicate the issue, and we need to figure out exactly what the police departments are the problem.
Yeah.
We need to look at all
Race
the
investigation.
race investigation on every single police station
Yes.
Yeah.
throughout the entire country. Let's find out whose numbers are high. Let's look at these body cams again.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
open up all your cold cases. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I want to see everything, and we'll determine what y'all niggas is doing over here. And then that presented me to another point in my head. We might now we would need we need presidential backing behind this. So that part might not come if Trump gets reelected again. I don't know. I have a twist on that too because Trump, he knows how to win things. Trump might throw a lot of this shit to us because
Write this down
he
before I
needs to.
forget.
It's in the notes.
No. I want something. that I
Okay.
wanted to- Yeah.
Trump might start giving black people some of the things that we want. Say some of the things that we want are on this list. He might be like, you know what? Yeah, let's remove all the statues. Let's make the Confederate flag illegal. That'll get some black people to vote for him.
Yeah.
And it'll
Or at
raise
least
his
make them like, oh shit, do I have to
yeah,
vote
you
for
know what I
him?
mean? Because he's gonna do whatever he can to stay in office. Because I think if he leaves office, he's open for arrest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because of all those cases, but he can't be arrested because he's an acting president
Yo,
right
did you
now.
read any of those little sexual assault cases that they had?
Why, yo? I saw the Epstein shit.
Oh my gosh.
The fact that
man.
Epstein was in, you were that homies with him. This nigga Epstein was
But
off
even
the
like
charts.
the list that they had of like the people who were like on the chartered flight to his island.
to the island, yeah.
Nigga, bro, Beyonce was up there, bro. I don't like that.
What? Really?
And Obama.
Yeah, but see,
Damn.
but see, like
that's-
with that, I don't
They
know.
were
like,
eating
sometimes,
children, bruh.
Huh?
It's not okay. We're talking about
Yeah, but see,
Yeah, I
but do
know
you
that.
It
but
was
do
all
you
about
know?
children. Because do we know any other activities that are going on the island?
But it's
gotta
so
be
funny
other
because literally
activities,
I
right?
argued with my homegirl for years. She was like, Beyonce eats babies, Beyonce. And I'm like, bitch, shut up. Like, no, she don't. And then literally that
I've
shit came
heard-
out and she
I've
was
heard
like,
that, like,
she was like,
listen,
bitch, I
let me
told
not-
you.
Let's
So
not
look.
Let's
Let's
not
not
put
let's
gas-
not go there.
Let's not go there.
But they're like people.
heard that.
I hate that people have said that, like with the whole Illuminati thing.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
Like-
that's all tied into that too.
Then they started talking about the Freemasons too. They brought that
Yeah.
into because
In the documentary?
George Floyd was a
But
Freemason.
but real quick
Whoa,
though.
wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh wait, hold on one second.
Pause.
Hold on.
Go
one
ahead. I want to go ahead.
There's a lot happening right now.
Okay, all right.
Go
Yeah,
ahead. Go
'cause-
ahead. Because
There's so many-
I want to speak on that. But go
Because
ahead.
let me finish my point with this. I was saying this might not happen with the investigation part. I think it's requirement though. But I feel like we may see if we have presidential backing with this investigating all police departments throughout the country, that'll take 4 to 8 terms. That'll take 4 to 8 years anyway, 2 terms. I think we may see moments of standoffs between police and the military. Because think about these police departments that we don't know in random Wyoming, North Dakota, these random fucking hick towns, cities. They might be still lynching people. We don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when the military pulls up and they're like, "You're not coming inside or accessing our files," or we get there, all the files are wiped, and they militarized up. We might see some cities go to war with the military because they won't let them into
Especially if
their.
it's in like a
Hey,
small
hold on,
rural
hold
town
on.
or something like that.
AJ the Menace for governor, y'all.
Yeah.
That's the only way we're gonna pass this, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
because
right,
it's like
yeah.
you're gonna have people at the top who
I
think
feel
like
like
that.
Yeah, we gotta
in order
have,
for it to
Yeah.
and
happen.
we have to have somebody who's aggressive.
You
with
gotta
it.
have somebody for us.
Yes,
That's going to
yeah.
hear the voice and the concerns of black people, and it's somebody else. And that's why, and to what you're saying, this is why we need to be involved. And guilty as charged. Like, I am not as involved with local politics as
I'm
much
not
as
at
I
all,
need
yeah,
to know. Like,
yeah.
we need to educate ourselves on this.
On
we
who do we
need
even?
who
yeah,
do we
are our
vote
people?
for?
Yeah, because we don't know.
That
We
share
need to
our
go get
values.
them.
And then
Right.
we fall into when we get into the voting booth because we don't know nobody local, Democrat everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't know them.
Or we don't vote. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So we need to educate ourselves, go to these places where we can voice our opinion.
They have speaking engagements. They set up in parks. They
Yeah.
talk. We don't,
All the time, yeah.
and
can
we don't even go.
meet 'em,
And we don't go.
we don't go.
Yeah.
And that is
And they're
our
literally
fault.
out here like, this is what I'm gonna do for Raleigh, North Carolina.
But do you
Right.
think
And
they
we don't
don't
even show
go
up.
because
We
a lot of
love-
them
we-
don't know?
Yeah.
And we don't know either. I don't see their marketing, and maybe it's
Yeah.
because their marketing
demographic.
isn't good, or maybe they don't have enough
Some of 'em,
funding.
Yeah.
Or you skip the commercial before whatever you're gonna watch on YouTube.
True, yeah,
just
because-
be,
Let me,
political.
I wanted to say this too.
Yeah, go
a
ahead,
couple
yeah.
things.
Those are my list of demands. It will continue.
Yeah.
Yo, man, keep going. So I will say this, and we're gonna make this I know we talked about this, a very general, quick statement.
Yeah.
But some of the white artists in this area, y'all not slick. Y'all not slick.
Not at all.
We see you. You need to be saying something.
Yeah.
And I'll say this on the podcast, very transparently. I am praying to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ on how to greet you next time I see you,
Yeah.
because some of y'all ain't slick.
Now specifically here, like in
Yes,
NC?
in this
locally,
area,
alright. Locally.
because I can't keep. I don't know.
I don't know Eminem.
Eminem.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
okay.
And even though we know where he stands,
We exactly.
we know where he
but
stands.
If he wasn't making a stand, I can't.
Right.
I can't be like.
Right.
What's
I
up,
don't
bro?
know G-Eazy. I don't.
Okay.
But I know
Okay.
some
know
of
you.
the ones in this area.
Okay.
And like, you don't get a pass because your friend and your crew is black.
Right.
Like,
You don't get a
you
pass.
don't get a pass. None of that shit. Like,
Bro, we see everything. If you get asked about something,
Right.
and then you were silent, and then you start talking all of a sudden, and you have a lot to say about that subject, we see that too.
We see
But
it.
the problem is you weren't open to the conversation.
And I just like, my thing is like, because I've talked about it. Rappers, like artists, have no excuse. You can say all that shit on your social media. You go on stage. You are supposed to be a wordsmith to some degree, or what degree, whatever. Every
about
degree
you don't
is
know what
different.
to say.
Right. you don't talking about you
And
don't
you a
know
rapper.
this- right.
Talking about you don't know how to say it
And so
exactly.
It's
Where's the auto-tune?
right.
Maybe if you
It's,
say
it's,
better.
it's not cool, and you have no excuse. Like, if you really don't know what to say, then you need to talk to somebody, ask somebody who's black,
Yeah.
or somebody who's white who gets it.
Yeah.
First of all,
Yeah.
you're in the culture. If you're in the
You're
culture,
in the culture.
Yeah,
you have a
Especially-
black.
Benefit-
You have a
Yeah.
black friend.
We gotta know
Right.
what you
Yeah.
think. We have to
You
know.
benefit,
We have to know.
You benefit from the black culture. You doing
Yeah.
these shows. You doing what locally, whatever. If you stay here and you travel and you benefit from our culture.
But if you have a,
So we
if, you're,
have to
if
know.
you're in it and you have a voice, you have to say
you
something.
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
You got to.
It's
We
a
need to know
requirement.
where you stand.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because you're a guest in the culture,
in the-
and
in
if
the
you
world
don't
of-
stand on the same stances
You
that
can, you can be asked to leave.
you
the
have
house.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Period. So,
And
but
it could be one or two ways. It could be forcibly or it could be lyrically. But
Yeah.
you will.
Either way.
you will be exited, or if you don't stay, your stay will be very uncomfortable.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not cool, man. But the other thing that I wanted to say is about George Floyd. So I have some theories on this.
Okay.
I for one, I truly believe that it was I don't think it was just racially motivated.
Oh yeah.
So you
'Cause
see
they had some ties too.
so
right?
so you do see that his the officer's charge went up from 3rd degree to 2nd degree murder.
It started at 4th, or it started at 3rd.
Third at 3rd.
Yeah.
Now it's 2nd degree murder, right? They knew each other, but
Work
there was
together.
right.
work
They worked together.
Yeah.
There was a poster, and I wish I would have screenshotted it, but it proved like it helped the case of my theory. So I think, so George Floyd, I know some guys who are in a part of like the genre of Christian hip hop. There was one guy he was really cool with, right? And so George Floyd was a Christian. Not only that, but he was ministering to a lot of the gang members and drug dealers in his community. And
It's causing peace.
I think that, so now you know that the police department in Minneapolis, like there's an open investigation on the whole police department essentially. So I think that he knew something about those cops. Like they were involved in some highly illegal things.
Got you.
And the reason why I think that is because he was definitely ministering to some drug dealers and like drug dealers, like gang members and stuff. And I think in their process of them giving up the things that they were doing because they've, coming to God, I think they might have shared some like, hey man, this dude is pressing me. I don't want to do this anymore, blah, blah, blah. But like,
And
if
when
I
you
stop,
they'll kill me.
so I think that they thought, well, how can we make an example out of him? What's the worst thing we can do to make an example out of him?
Yeah.
To these other guys who might say, these other niggas who might
Who might speak up against us.
we'll kill a black man and get away with it and kind of like silence them so they won't say shit.
Right.
Like
It fucked around.
and it backfired on them.
Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was just
They didn't think
racially
it was going to be
motivated.
on camera either, right? They couldn't suspect that. Or
Well,
do
there
you
were
think-
street cams. I'm lopsided with that because I do feel like they kind of knew that somebody was gonna see him. It was in
Yeah.
broad
It
daylight.
daylight
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the side of the street.
So, but I also think that they
I don't
knew they didn't know. They felt like they were gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
So I think it
And-
was a message to
and on
those
top-
other guys.
doing it.
And on
like,
top
yo,
of that,
shut
I
up.
think it was kind of a do the right thing where they didn't mean to do it there either. Where you know what
Possible.
I mean? Like where
like he came up and was
like
oh shit.
yeah, but I do this to every black person I pull over anywhere. I put my knee on their neck. They just normally don't die. He died before we could take him to where we wanted to actually do it.
That's true. Well, I
know
can
what I
see
mean?
that. I can
A
see that.
possibility, yeah.
But
But
that would have fucked their plans up.
they
though.
beat him up in the car though.
They did, yeah.
So, like, the autopsy said that he had no previous health issues, right? Like, so they beat him because that's what they tried. The first autopsy was like, oh, yeah, he had health problems, blah, blah, blah. No.
Isn't it crazy how you could do an autopsy and it's supposed to be one report?
Right. That's
But
I feel
we-
like the same thing with medical information. Why do I
Another
have to get a
reason.
second opinion?
Another
It's
reason.
like,
Look.
why are there three different versions?
Look, I watch
If all y'all
the
did the same
Ozarks.
treatment.
I watch the Ozarks too much, and I watch these other shows too much that deal with people involved with drugs because you can. It's so much when you get it. Like from what I've seen, when you get into the drug life, you got to pay certain people. You got to shut people up. You got to have allies in power if
Yeah.
you're doing it on a certain scale. Like there's so much to it, and so I think that they knew something or he knew something, and that was their
was
way of
possibly
saying,
gonna get out or something.
what can we do to silence him, or so he doesn't say anything and silence these other dudes. Oh, we'll just kill a black man and get away with it, and it'll silence. That's my
Yeah.
So I don't think it was just racially motivated. Like
Yeah.
it was
Something else.
A little bit
on
more.
top. It was a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's believable. Yeah.
Because they
possibly
like
could
did
go
you?
deeper.
Because they beat him up in the car.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Bruh, you know what face? I mean, the white guy's face that was on his back. I can't get that out of my head, but you know whose face is really burning in my head?
The Asian man standing there doing
Yes.
Yeah.
He was just like,
That's why I said what I said.
Yes, that Asian dude.
he was way
Four
too
dirty.
calm.
There was
I
four
I
dirty
feel
cops,
that,
bro.
you can feel that evilness off of him. Like that Asian, the way he was looking, bro. You can feel it every
Yo.
time I see his picture. I'm like, this dude is evil.
Did you
bruh.
watch the Meek Mill documentary that was on
No.
Amazon?
Oh no, I didn't. I think no.
Yeah, it was it's super dope, but it really like tells
It's all
the
about
story.
police brutality. Yeah,
Yeah.
brutality.
And it
shit.
talks about his full. I didn't know all of that about him.
Yeah, I
he
knew about
went
it.
through a lot of extra shit that he didn't know. He didn't have to go through because the system is so fucked up. And then that
Probation for 10
judge.
years. The judge is bad. She's
She
under
got a thing
investigation.
for him.
I don't know when her thing is.
It's obsession.
I don't know when her
obsession.
thing's gonna come to an end, but that judge
That is
that was
pure
handling his
obsession.
case
Cause she didn't want it. Cause he didn't do a song with who was it? Boys to Men, B2K or
or
something.
some
But what happened was there were dirty cops involved
in his
that
case,
siege.
in the original case.
Yes.
Yeah. So his whole case should have been dismissed.
Again.
Yeah.
Again.
But she didn't care. She drug him through, put him on
Right.
probation for 10 years, violated him over little things, and just had him on
Right.
probation.
Imagine having that power when
crazy.
you just don't like somebody.
And what makes it worse, it's a black person doing it to you.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. A
Yeah.
black woman doing
She
it.
probably
to me.
believed all lives matter.
Yeah,
right.
and that's what hurts even more because if Meek had a white male judge, we would just be like, we can expect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like But it's just like, damn, Meek Mill has the white
Wait a
male
minute,
judge.
isn't that fucked up? You
It's
just
fucked
saying
up.
that?
No, that's
Yeah.
fucked
Like,
up.
wait a minute, we could expect that.
We can
That's
expect-
so
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Why can
But-
we expect
But,
that?
and y'all all agreed
Yeah.
Yeah.
quickly, unanimously.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it wasn't even. That's how we talk in the black community about the police and the politicians. Like,
Yeah.
that's how we're used to the corruptness.
That's how
Like,
it's been done to
That's how
our
it's
parents'
been done to
generation,
us,
our
bro.
grandparents' generation.
But the fact that it was a black woman, that's when everybody, like, at least
It's
in
like, what
hip-
the fuck?
At least in the hip hop community, we
Yeah,
were
hip-hop.
like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
This is happening, right?
yeah,
You're doing this to one of the most successful artists today.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy,
It's
man.
crazy, man. It's crazy.
What do you guys also think about like if we created like some kind of like law, a law or a bill that sort of just made it harder?
Oh, I'm
For-
glad you said that, to get a firearm.
No, for police, like if they commit, if they play executioner before you get judge and jury, like they get harsh punishment for it.
Yes,
You know,
yeah,
and potentially
real-
get kicked out.
or just,
under
or arrested,
under
yeah.
certain
but
circumstances.
Yeah,
like
they have to
re-
study it, of course.
like
Yeah.
real due process.
Yeah, like they get
Yeah,
a
yeah.
harsh punishment.
Yeah,
Do you
nah,
think
for
cops
sure.
would think
Like,
twice?
I think that.
Yeah,
I
that's-
think
they
that
should have a
needs
harsher
to-
punishment.
Yes, they should
Because that's just-
you're supposed to
yeah.
be. You're. There is no other. Well, you
supposed
think
to
about
serve and
FBI
protect.
and all. Yeah, but
Because you know what-
for the police, is you supposed to protect and serve.
Yeah.
Like it's almost
Not
play
it's almost
execution.
like
Yeah.
it's almost like, and it's not the two. Well, the two could be comparable, but they're not. In this, I would say as far as responsibility, from a biblical standpoint, biblically pastors, or heretical pastors, like pastors that are using like people and not shepherding their congregation, like biblically they get worse punishments
Then
in
some-
eternity than just us.
Got you. Okay.
Like,
So
and they're more responsible, like,
Because you were using it for
right,
bad. You were
or
using-
just the job itself.
Yeah.
Like when a pastor gets caught in doing like certain things, like certain like
their punishment is way
sleeping with,
harsher.
Yeah,
it-
illegal
they
stuff.
get sit
Yeah.
down. It's a lot. Like,
Okay, you know what I was just thinking? Because
so
same thing.
I agree with that.
There should be a
Yeah.
whole department built off of that, right?
Yeah, because I feel like
So
they would
when-
think twice about like.
Somebody need to police the police, bro.
Yeah, like
Exactly.
yeah. It needs
Yeah.
to be a play. Low key, we might need the FBI in every city now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to be down the street from them for when they act
Because
up.
what is the Gosh, I used to watch Law and Order so much. What is the department that investigates
Internal
the police?
affairs.
Yes.
Yeah, the internal
It's a
affairs.
cesspool in here. Call internal affairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that internal affairs? That's not at the police department.
It
right?
might be, but they
Or-
might be
not sure.
corrupt. Who
No,
knows?
there was a
I don't
movie
know.
about it.
They're supposed to be the ones that are trying to find the corrupt ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that's supposed to be
so
straight
they're
in there.
like
They
like
go in
police
there-
HR.
Yeah, basically.
Mm,
Because I'm sure there's an HR department too, but yeah, this is
They go
No,
in,
they're not
they-
police
They start
HR.
searching everything. They're going through paperwork. They're going through
yeah.
evidence.
They like so like if you watch
Go through all the
Law and
records.
Order, if somebody shot somebody, like
They
a
better go.
civilian or whatever the case is, like they get investigated, or you might get pulled from a case, or you might get suspended, like or fired
until they figure out the
until they
circumstances of why this person died.
yeah
okay. So
or got
this
hurt or whatever.
this leads me to my. We definitely need that in every city. Everywhere needs that.
Yeah.
And then that leads me to my final point in my list of demands. It has got to. You've got to make it harder to buy a gun. It is way too easy. It's way too easy.
Think so?
What,
Then what about for us?
bro? It's easy. But I don't know. I'll pass. I know. I know I can pass a psych evaluation. I know.
Okay,
I don't have a criminal record.
Okay.
I don't have anything violent on my record. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I see
I
what
can
you're saying.
pass.
Okay.
But it's way too easy,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
time I've ever been to the handgun permit sheriff station downtown Raleigh, the people that are waiting in line with me.
So wait a minute. So how? Because I'm thinking about doing this. So I am going to do it soon.
How easy is it?
is it for you to get a license to carry?
Bro,
It's
you go
hard.
online, fill out some paper, and then
Don't
go
even-
pick it up at the
That's
sheriff's
a-
office. In
No,
a
no,
week.
wait. That's a handgun. You want to buy an AK-7? You want to buy an AK-47, an AR-15, or a shotgun? We can just go down to the store right now.
You go to Walmart.
That's all we
Pretty
need.
much, yeah.
All you need is your ID. If it's a
Yeah,
long,
all I gotta do is be
if it's a
18.
long rifle, we can go ahead and grab that now.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk to nobody.
A
We can
handgun.
just-
You do have to take a concealed carry class.
No.
If you want to do
that's-
that, but
that's for the concealed
'cause-
part.
but if you just want
so
a
we
gun-
talking the ones that are in all the mass shootings, all the ones that are in the school shootings. We're talking about those guns right now only. We can do that now. As
Right,
long
as
as your
we
record's
speak.
clear, all you need is a license that says you 18 or over or 21 and over or whatever. Now, the handgun, one extra step. You go online, fill out a 20 multiple choice question. Not multiple choice, but it's yes or no. Are you a U.S. citizen? Have you ever been convicted of any felonies? Simple ass questions.
Concealed joint?
No.
Yeah.
This is no. This ain't the concealed.
This is the regular just
This
gun
is just
permit.
getting a handgun.
Okay.
You fill out these 10 or 20 questions, which
pay $5.
which is extremely easy to lie on because it's the same 10.
Right.
You pay $5 for your purchase permit. So this is a piece of paper I give to a handgun seller to say I'm legally allowed to have this.
Yeah.
But you pay $5. They submit it. They run your background check. They send you a text message or email letting you know your background check is good. Come down here to get your purchase permit.
Okay.
You go down there and they hand you the little piece of paper and you're done. All you need to do is find a handgun seller now, and he's gonna ask you for your concealed carry license or that purchase permit.
Well, the concealed carry license, how?
Yeah,
how
eight
is
hour-
that?
8-hour class and shoot, but that's still too easy because I'm gonna tell you why.
It's
That's
one class?
One
Yep.
class,
Or is
8
it-
hours on a Saturday, and a shooting test. And
Yep.
let me tell you, the shooting test is easy as hell, bro. It's so easy, bro. The first time I shot a gun was the shooting test, and I passed. Let's just put it that way. So let's just start with there. This Cadillac, let's say this Cadillac hubcap is the target. They say you need to get inside the black. Guess how? And it's a bullseye. Guess how much of the bullseye is black? The entire inner ring. So this edge
Yeah.
is white.
It's like good enough.
The entire inner ring is black. As long as you hit that, you shoot 10 rounds from 3 different distances. I think it's 5, 7, and 10 yards because those are the attack radius or ranges. As long as you hit 80% of your bullets in the black, you pass the class. And of course, you have to pass the test. When I was in my concealed carry class, bro, we went out there. These 2 old ladies were in there because they're old. These 2 old white retired ladies, but this is where the danger comes from. 2 old white retired ladies. They were literally just doing Groupon lessons because they have nothing else to do. Yeah. Bro, they failed. They failed the shooting test. We all went to lunch. He let them load up again to shoot it again.
As a favor.
It was like,
Oh, you're gonna pass today.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how much was it? How much was the concealed?
the class was like $50.
I'm gonna do that next week. Bro.
Yeah. Just pick a Saturday. And now, since the COVID stuff started,
Are they probably not having them?
but they've started doing them digital though. They started doing them digitally because of the COVID thing. So you can still get it. You just don't have to take the shooting test no more. So you don't even have to do the shooting test no more. I'm talking about.
Send me all the information.
I got
so
you,
I can go ahead
bruh.
and get that done
But literally,
before
bruh,
it gets harder.
Yeah, before
They need to make it harder. It's just
feel
way.
you.
It's
Yeah,
just
see-
way too easy, bro.
See, this is why like it'll be hard to change like any gun laws is because Congress has members of or Congress is full of members who are part of the NRA or either
Yeah.
getting paid by the NRA that if any bill comes through the House, they could just vote no to it. If the bill wants
Yes,
to change
exactly.
gun laws, they have congressmen who are NRA members
And
to
they
just
want
vote
it
no
wide open like that.
Yeah.
They want it, bro. It's
because they make money.
It's too because they're
They
making
make
so much
money off of
s-
every school
moving them
shooting that
guns.
happens, or any public. It's just like they made money, and
It's
that's
a
all
new,
they care about.
It's a new marketing plan for the NRA. Like everybody's
Yeah.
about to eat.
Every
But
mass
it's-
shooting is a commercial for the NRA.
Bro, every time I go to the sheriff's station to do the handgun thing, like I had to do like when I got my concealed, I had to go back down there.
Yeah.
To get the license, and they mail it out, but you have to go down there to turn something in physically.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? Every time I'm in that sheriff's office standing in that line, the people that are in line with me, I'm like, this is why I carry a gun.
Yeah.
Because there's one person in the line that you're standing with, if not everybody else except you. You'd be like, I can just tell by looking at you, you're not supposed to have a gun.
Yeah.
And you're standing behind me in the line, and you're getting the same treatment I'm getting. It's crazy, bro. Like every
Like,
time
you look
So
like you
where
just got
can't you? So I guess wherever you go, where like if you go into a school, you can't have it on you or whatever.
Yeah, so the thing with like the concealed or even the thing with the handgun and guns is if there's a sign on the outside of the door that says no handguns or no firearms permitted in that building, you're not allowed to have a gun in that building.
Right.
But if you'll notice, a lot of stores do not have that on the outside of their thing. Some of them do, like bars will have that. But that makes sense because of a bar, because you can catch a charge that if you read anything on the alcohol meter and you're concealing or you're carrying at the same time, you'll catch a charge off of that.
Yeah.
Because you can't obviously operate a firearm under any influence, even a sip or whatever.
So if you go out drinking,
Same
you
with,
don't
like, weed and
bring
No,
your-
if you go out drinking, you don't bring your gun with you.
or you leave it in the car.
Yeah, or you leave it. Yeah, and if you're the one driving, you can't have nothing. You need to be like the real DD, like not a DD that just chills and starts drinking water for the rest of the night. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, because if you get pulled over and you blow, because if I'm concealing, I have to show you my conceal card. Because I'm not gonna have it on my dashboard. I got a car full of drunk people and a pistol on the dashboard. Everybody's
Yeah.
getting out the car off rip.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get pulled over. I give you my concealed. He's gonna be like, "Have you been drinking tonight?" I'll be like, "No," but you're still gonna take this breathalyzer just because everybody else is drunk. You know, so it's just too much of a risk to catch that charge.
No, I do agree with that. It should be harder.
It's just
You know what
way
I'm
too
saying?
easy, bro. Like these people that were ex-military that are suffering from PTSD, they shouldn't be allowed to own their firearms until the therapist that they're going to has cleared them for
Yeah.
it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you getting out the military with all the best guns and experience.
These trigger happy. I saw this on this dude.
We do got to wrap up real quick because it's getting late. It's getting long.
It's getting
Oh,
kind of
shoot.
heavy.
We're at 1:45.
Nah, that dude Pop was posting a dude of a video of a white dude who was saying like, oh yeah, these looters and rioters, blah blah blah. Like essentially he had a firearm, and like when Trump said essentially like policing like the people to shoot people who
Oh
are
yeah, you
looting.
loot, we shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He
yeah.
said he said for all you looters and when it come to the city, blah blah blah. Something. White dude. He was like, I wish a nigga would, and he held up yes. And Pop called him out. Added. I think he worked for some housing company or something. Added the company like. So I agree with you on that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, you got people
He was like, I got this. I've been waiting to use it.
And like, if you're a part of this terroristic group, like the KKK, if we get that deemed,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to have a firearm either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would we put the firearm in the hand of a terroristic group? You're not supposed to get
It's a
them.
lot. It's like the thing is like
Mind you, you're gonna have them illegally still.
it's a lot of amendments.
But at least when I catch you, I can really rack some charges.
Well, see,
up.
the thing is like even with some of the demands and the things that you listed that I agree with, you might run into some amendment rights with some of this stuff.
Well, some of those amendments need to be changed too, though.
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
sure do.
So
Like the
I
VCR.
mean, we can, you know what I'm saying?
Outdated,
13th,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? 22nd, like it's a little shaky out here. You know what I'm
I don't
saying?
even remember them.
But I
joints.
think the most valid place for sure is when it comes to the police, like those requirements, like psych eval, like all that
Got to
stuff.
have to, yeah.
I feel like that's a great place to start.
Yeah.
Great place to start.
Think about you don't have to, bro. Like, think about having police officers. You only have to clean a PR mess up maybe once every 2 years or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all cleaning them up every other week right now,
Yeah.
or just not giving a fuck because you really don't give a fuck. So you're just like, they'll bitch and complain for a week and it will move to the next body.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. But yeah, let's get up out of here, yo. Appreciate y'all for coming. Go stream that new single. You Say That You Love Me. YSLMA or something. You Say That You Love Me.
Go cop your Good Mental Health is a Flex t-shirt.
Facts.
Kevin on stage has bought one.
So if that's not enough to, it's clearly hot out here in these streets.
Inspired by Rest, my latest single that's out on all streaming platforms.
Facts. And follow the 3O podcast on everything. Like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube, we going up. All right, I'm gonna that. All right, peace.
You just watched we could start over if you'd like.
Hey!
You just watched the 3O podcast instead of listening to it.
You just watched the 3O podcast. Okay.
Thank you for watching the 3O podcast.
Subscribe.
Listen to that guy.